We'll be talking about the problems of India and solutions. In this, we will be covering the introduction, the problems, and the solutions. And before or after listening to this video, please read whatever is there in your lesson in the textbook, and then do the assignment that is given in the video or which is also there in your lesson. So, as we know, India has faced numerous problems ever since it has achieved its independence in the year 1947. And as a citizen of this country, it is our responsibility to know the problems and the solution to these problems. As Mahatma Gandhi said, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. It is very important for us to start somewhere so that it does not affect as much in whole. The first problem we would be discussing is unemployment. Unemployment is a situation where one does not find work in accordance to his or her capacity or qualification. For example, once you graduate from your college or your higher studies, you might not be able to get the job you are fit for or you are qualified for because of various uh, factors. In India, population and improved technology are usually the two reasons why this problem is in existence. As India is the population of India is greater than the number of jobs that we have. That is generally why population is a factor. Apart from the factors above, shortage of natural resources, over dependency of agriculture, ruined cottage industries, and lack of skill-based education are other factors causing unemployment. According to the census of 2011, the poverty rate is 21.9%, which indicates the growing problem of unemployment in India. And in order to solve the poverty related issues, the central and the state governments have taken various measures to generate employment to people. For example, uh, like the solutions for unemployment, we can see that one, we can improve the skill level of the job seekers. Two, give better access to employment. Three, inculcate world class skill to people who make handicrafts so that they can compete with global products. Like we can promote our local based brands and whatever's being made in India so that we don't have to use foreign products, and we that way we can compete with global products in a better way. And four, provide loans to people who are engaged in self-employment. The second problem we would be discussing the second problem we would be discussing is corruption. So corruption means offering bribe and following any other illegal means to achieve some illegal benefits. It can also be defined as misuse of public authority for personal gains, or like sweeping away all the procedures for a narrow personal gain can also be termed as corruption. So, corruption stays away from the legal framework in its operation, and corruption influences negatively on both personal as well as public sphere of life. There are two types of corruption: personal corruption and political corruption. Personal corruption comes into place in your life when you're talking about bribery, nepotism, caste favoritism, and intentional slowdown of work, etc. And political corruption is when you do things like tax evasion, illegal hoarding, smuggling, economic offenses, cheating, violation of laws, all find space in political corruption. So solutions for corruption are to like get ethical political leadership, good officers, and politically aware and educated public that can eradicate corruption. Two, by installing CCTV cameras and monitoring the government offices. Three, awarding harsh punishment for corrupt officials. Four, increasing the number of courts and judges with, and like that can rule out corruption. The third problem we'll be discussing is discrimination. In India, discrimination is based on gender, caste, and region. Indian society is made up of values, and like that discrimination, and the discrimination of women and man is based on these values. And caste system has been in existence in India from ancient societal system based on Varna. Regional inequality has come into place as some of the regions in the country have remained backward while many have achieved progress. We can solve discrimination by giving equal reservations for men and women, as we can see how, for example, in Karnataka, 50% reservation has been given to women in local body elections, and then in like the general country, one third of the seats in local elections are given to women. So that way, it's improving day by day. And when it comes to caste, we can the right to equality and freedom must be implemented strictly, as the right for equality and freedom, it has been included in the section 3 of the Indian constitution, but there are still a lot of problems, but with time we're hoping that it would change. And for regional inequality, in order to remove regional inequality, Article 371 has been amended. And for example, in Karnataka, in order to address the regional imbalances, a committee headed by DM Nanjundappa has been given a special report on various measures needed to solve the regional imbalance in 2001. Some of the most backward regions in Karnataka have been accorded special status by adding Article 371J. With solutions like this, we can see that the progress has already started, but we can only hope that it gets better. The next problem we will be discussing is communalism. So, segregation in the name of religion and creating hatred and cultivating opposite self interest can be called as communalism. Communalism has a capacity to endanger the integrity and the unity of the country. Communalism puts self interest above national interests. It creates social differences, mutual suspicion, and fear situation in the society. It also destroys the public and private property and not just disturbs the peace of society. So, in order to get like solve this problem, the government has yeah, in order to solve this problem, the government has made sure that everyone like gets uniform civil code and equality among all the citizens. And we need to understand and support secular values in the society, transcending narrow thoughts in the favor of national interests. And four, citizens should commit themselves for a secular society and understand that people from different backgrounds and different religions live in the same country, and you should celebrate the differences and not fight against them. The next problem is about status of women. The achievements of women during the pre-independent India are notable. Like we've seen Jhansi Rani Lakshmibai, Indira Gandhi, and Sarojini Naidu. These are some of the women freedom fighters that we know. Yet the status of women needs improvement in India. The status of women has remained low due to social customs, poverty, and illiteracy, which has affected the progress of country. The solutions for this is that the government has already started women and child development department to develop women's education and status. Two, many programs have been implemented to curb child marriage system, dowry prohibition act, etc., to empower women. Three, women's commissions have been established at national and state level to address the various issues of women. And four, government has provided reservations for women for recruitments, like how we spoke about. One third of the election seats have been allotted for women. So the government has started to take measures for women's status and their priority too. The next main problem that we would discuss is terrorism. Terrorism can be called as extremism that puts pressure on the government. The terrorism is based on extreme religious sentiments, separatism, racialism, or leftist ideals. Often, a country funds and supports terrorism in another country. Like, let's just take an example. Country A is supporting country B to attack on country C. And terrorism targets civilians of the country, military bases, and also targets specific communities with specific languages, religion, race, and skin color to create maximum terror among them. They use explosive, deadly gases to attain their goal. The killings done by terrorists are pre planned and they work with their own network of intelligence. They employ modern day gadgets and means of transportation. They target busy areas like airports, railway stations, markets, and other areas to attack. They seek to spread their goals along with this violence. They also use tactics like suicide bombing, kidnapping innocent people to attain their targeted aims. And India is one of the countries in the world that has been the target of terrorism for many years. Terrorism is and was there in states like Nagaland, Manipur, Kashmir, Punjab, and other places. I think all of you have heard about Kashmir in the latest news, how the neighboring countries have been fighting for Kashmir. So, there terrorists have targeted places like Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Buddha, Gaya, and other places to create panic. As such, there is not really any solution we can come up with to stop terrorism, just hoping that people would stop after a point, understanding that there is more to life and more than just attacking, and like there is, and like understanding that peace and love are greater than violence and hate. The next topic we'll be talking about is the corporate strategy. The corporate strategy is basically a group administrative measure undertaken by a company to achieve a premeditated target is called as a corporate strategy. The main aim of these strategies are maximizing the profits of the company, which affects the society and a country negatively. It can also influence the decisions of the government. On positive side, the same corporate companies can be employed to elevate social problems like poverty, malnutrition, health, skill training, and many other aspects uh, through corporate social responsibility programs. And this is a solution to eliminate the corporate strategy impact on our country. So these are most of the problems that are important for us to understand in our country. And based on this, I would like you to do this exercise that is also there in your textbook. First is you have to fill in the blanks with appropriate answers. And after this, there are a couple of questions. There are like 8 questions. So I would like you to answer these after reading the entire lesson. And if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comments below so that I can help you understand in a better way. And if you also have any suggestions on how I'd like to improve, please let me know so that I can do that in the better next videos. Thank you.